Hello everybody. Have you ever been on a seesaw? A seesaw is a simple but fun piece of equipment in a playground. Two people can play, with one sitting each end of the seesaw, and using your legs you can push yourself up and the other person goes down. When that person pushes their legs up, that person goes down. It's simple, but it's good fun. We all have our ups and downs, don't we? Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad. We may be hardworking one day and very lazy the next. We may be honest one day and dishonest the next. In our Bible lesson today, we're going to talk about the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, who also had his ups and downs, and we're going to see how God punished Pharaoh for his wicked ways. When I read the story, if you think the people are having an up day, put your hand up. And if they're having a down day, we put our hand down. Should we have a go? God had spoken to Moses from a burning bush and told him to go to Pharaoh and tell him to set his people free. They had been slaves of Egypt for many, many years. So Moses and his brother Aaron went to see Pharaoh and asked him to set God's people free. But Pharaoh said, "No, I will not let them go." Pharaoh refused to obey, and God began to send terrible plagues into Egypt. One time, God sent frogs all over the land. There were so many frogs, it was creepy. At other times, God sent big gnats and flies and locusts, and that was really horrible, getting in the way of all the crops. Well, Pharaoh had more ups and downs than a seesaw. When God would send one of the plagues, Pharaoh would say to Moses that if God would make it go away, he would let his people go. But after God made the plague go away, Pharaoh changed his mind and refused. Now, since Pharaoh was so hard-hearted and refused to let God's people go, God continued to send plagues upon Egypt, and they really got very serious. There were 10 in all. The final plague was the worst of all. God told Moses to tell Pharaoh that the last plague was going to be very bad, that it would change his heart and he would let the people go. Every firstborn son and every firstborn male animal would die. How sad. It was always sad to see what happens when people refuse to listen to God. Since Pharaoh and the people in Egypt refused to do what God had said, they suffered. That may be hard to understand, but remember, God had given them so many opportunities to do what he wanted them to do, but they just refused. God gave Moses instructions to his own people, how to prepare for the last plague and to protect themselves. He said that every family was to take a 1-year-old lamb, and it had to be perfect in every way, and kill it to have a meal out of it. And the blood left from the lamb was to be marked all around their doorways and close the doors. That way they would be protective. God warned the people there were going to be a lot of death in the land. God said to his people, "The blood on the door will serve as a sign on the houses where you live. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no harm will touch you when I strike the land of Egypt." After God sent the 10th plague, Pharaoh changed his mind and freed God's children. God cares for us just like he cared for his children in Egypt a long, long time ago. And in fact, he made a way for us to get out of our mistakes too. Just like Pharaoh, we have our ups and we have our downs. But Jesus died on the cross for all the wrong things we have done. If we believe in him and ask him to come into our hearts, he is going to make us a way to go to heaven. Right, well, we need to go and do a craft, don't we? It's been a little while. So why don't you go and get some paper, some pens, some glue and some scissors, and let's see what we can make. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Right, everyone. Hope you've got your pens and papers ready, and you might need a pair of scissors. So what you need to do is you need to cut a strip of paper about that big, really. And if you can, if you've got one of those, it's like a little split pin. Okay? Yeah? If not, perhaps put a little pipe cleaner through and split it out. What you need to do is, you might need a grown-up to help you because they're a bit sharp, is put it in the middle of the long piece of paper and then get your big piece of paper and put that through the middle, like so. Can you see? Okay, once you've done that and got it marked, you then start to build your picture. So I've made that long piece look a bit woody, a bit like a seat, and then I've made like a garden. And if I put my piece of wood through, look, we've got a seesaw. Remember what I said about the ups and the downs? And as you can see, I've written a passage on the top to remind us that God will help us through our ups and downs. Have a good week. Take care. See you soon. Bye.